Hello, everyone. It is Misha Green, DC and digital editor, and I'm excited to be back again with you all as we chat with Amerigroup's Charmekia Martin. Y'all, this girl, I, I just have to say, even in our 5 minutes of just backstage conversation, this woman is so incredibly informed and has just a wealth of knowledge on a number of subjects. But Amerigroup has been really busy here recently, ensuring that the people of the District of Columbia have things they need for a number of things. And so Charmekia is sort of the lady behind all of that as the strategic engagement and director of strategic engagements and partnerships for Anthem and Amerigroup DC. So thank you so much for being on the show today, Charmeika.
Thank you so much for having us.
How are you? People forget that we're still in the middle of a pandemic,
Yes.
which is wild.
Yes.
How are you doing, first and foremost?
So I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Despite the pandemic, we've been so busy. So busy. On a regular basis, we're busy, but then with the additional layer of the pandemic, we've been an extreme amount of focus on how we can make sure that we are supporting the communities that we're serving within the pandemic, outside of the pandemic, because of the pandemic. So all of those things have definitely played a role in our new level of work requirements and the things that we're trying to do in the community.
And I think it's so important that you shared that this work that you're doing is even beyond the pandemic that we are facing, and it seems like every 5 seconds there's a new variant and a new thing that we have to do. But Amerigroup, even prior to this, was ensuring that our communities had everything that they needed to stay safe and healthy. And it's just so great to hear that you all are remaining busy and ensuring that even post pandemic, when we get there, because I
When
believe
we get
we'll
there,
get
we're going to
there.
get there. We're going to get there.
Post pandemic, your work will be so incredibly important still. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You know, the pandemic has changed the need in terms of what the community needs. It has really transitioned and highlighted opportunities and gaps and what we can do to fill them. So for service for members getting into care or the community getting into care, access has always been something that we've talked about in the district, but now there's an additional layer. Like if I'm at home, how can I have access?
Mhm.
So telehealth and telemedicine and prescription delivery and all those things have become even more important due to the pandemic. So I think to your point, we will be out of the pandemic one day, but when we come out of it, it will look completely different than when we went in.
Absolutely. And I just have to be a test to I guess a witness and testify to this, because truly, I mean, I was doing stories on Amerigroup's telehealth programs even before the pandemic. And I think I want to say maybe a year before the pandemic. I mean, that was the first time I really became familiar with telehealth, and that people needed access to it just because they had issues getting to the doctor, or not everything needs an emergency appointment. And I learned so much from that,
Absolutely.
and that was pre-pandemic. So the Amerigroup is not new to this. They are true to this. Okay, Amerigroup indeed has been doing this for quite some time. So, can you get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of what your role is in particular and how it
Sure.
helps DC residents?
Sure. So I like to say that I have one of the fun jobs because I get to work hand in hand with community partners. So at Amerigroup and under the Anthem umbrella, we like to really look at what is impacting a member's care. So if a member cannot get to work, then they're surely not thinking about how they're going to get to the doctor's appointment. Or if a member has to choose between paying for a prescription and putting food on their table, they're going to make the choices that are better for their family. And so those are things that impact the whole health of a member. And what I get to do is I get to come in and work with great partners that are local to the community that help us resolve some of those issues. We are healthcare, and so we are not the expert in transportation. We are not the expert in nutrition. And in some aspects, we are not the expert in education or workforce development, but we like to work with people who are people that are trusted in the community. They're already doing the work in the community, and we want to work with them so that we can continue to support the whole person when it comes to the members that we service or the community that we're working in.
That is awesome. And I appreciate that you say, we're a health organization. We're not transportation, but we can connect you with those folks who can
Absolutely.
teach you to do what you need to do. Hey, I want to say hello to Laura Phillips Bird. We see you tapped in. Thank you. Good afternoon to you as well. And good afternoon to all those who are tuning in. I did not even say good afternoon, y'all. We've made it through another morning. Okay.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And if some, depending on where you all are tuning in from, maybe some it's already nighttime for some of you all, or mid evening. So congratulations to all of you all, and thanks again for tapping in. And remember, as I always say, sharing is caring. Share this stream, this information is so incredibly valuable to many people in your communities and villages, and particularly those in the DC area. I know that they can be moved and inspired, and hopefully make some changes to their health plans from this conversation. So I know that Amerigroup DC has established several partnerships. I've been getting the press releases and really excited about, again, just the amount of work that's keeping you all busy. But tell us about some of these nonprofits that you all have teamed up with and some of the work that you're doing.
Oh man, I'm so excited about the partnerships that we've been able to establish in the district. More recently, we have been working with partners already when we were servicing district Medicaid members, but we've been able to take that to the next level. And so some of them include Pathways to Housing. We have a pilot program with them that's really going to highlight how homelessness and health coincide together and what we can do to tackle that obstacle. So very excited about that. Martha's Table, we're working on them with a maternal health program. So they've already done some really amazing things in the district, and we're just happy to be able to work with them. And so, very excited about what we're doing in that maternal health space that's going to take away some of the obstacles and fund some of the families that they're going to have in their maternal health program. On that same maternal health track, we've been working with Mary Center. Mary Center already had a great centering program. And so the pandemic impacted that, and we're working with them to bring it back to life. And so, very excited about that. And if you are into doulas in the district, then you have heard of Mama Toto's. And we want to add to what Mama Toto's is already doing. So, we did a scholarship for more people to be certified with some of the programs that Mama Toto's has offered, and so that we can increase access to care in the district in that maternal health space. So those are some of the partners that we're working with in maternal health and housing, and then behavioral health. Behavioral health has become such a hot topic during the pandemic. Taking care of you doesn't just include going to the doctors anymore. It's a mental thing. It's physical, it's mental, it's all of the above, and it really encompasses taking care of the whole person. So on the behavioral health standpoint, we're working with us helping us. They've been a great partner for us over the years, and we've added to their food pantry, and now we're adding to their syringe program. So they have a syringe access program, and so we're adding to that. And then we're also supporting Brick. Brick is working very, very hard in the community to overcome addiction and opioids, and we're working with them to be impactful in that space. And then Tumani DC, and I hope I'm saying that correctly because they're a fantastic organization right out of Ward 7 and servicing children, Ward 7 and Ward 8, and really digging in. They're doing group sessions, they're going into schools, they're working with the students on how to overcome the obstacles that they're facing and recognizing that everyone's experiencing something different. This pandemic is doing something different to us all. And so I'm so excited about what we're going to be able to accomplish with some of the groups that we're working with. They've already done so many great things. And so when we talk about partnering with the best of the best, I think that we have done that in the district.
Absolutely. I'm fangirling just listening to these organizations because I know all of these folks are doing such good work and making a great impact on district residents.
Absolutely.
So speaking of district residents, we you mentioned some of the vulnerable residents and some of these sort of hot topics such as behavioral health and mental health and addressing these things that thank goodness people are bringing light to and shedding some light on these challenges. But can you share with the folks out there some of the other vulnerable residents that we should be aware of and know of in our communities, and how again we can be of service to them?
Sure. I think it's more important now more than ever that we check on each other. We check on each other. We say, "How are you doing?" And we really mean it. So if somebody doesn't seem, their normal self, maybe it's an opportunity for us to have an additional level of conversation because the way that we've been isolated due to the pandemic, things have changed on a number of levels, whether it's employment, whether it's education, whether it's resources available, even as we talk about inflation, the holidays are coming up, prices are going up, things like this are impacting our families day to day. So everybody is vulnerable at this point. Everybody is impacted by what's happening. And so everyone falls under that vulnerable category. It's just a matter of how vulnerable are they and what they're experiencing. So being able to check in on each other, I know we've heard that so many times, but it's really important to do more now than ever because we're not seeing each other. Even now, like you and I both, we're working from home. We're not seeing our coworkers. We're not touching base with them. We're missing those casual conversations in passing that we normally would do. And so for some of us, we might not realize how impactful that is on us until we don't have it. And so now we've been in this space where it's like, oh, it was only a little bit, but it's gone on longer and longer, and we don't know when this is going to end. We don't know when we're going to be outside again. And so things like that, I think, are more and more impactful. And again, as we go into the holiday season, it's even more of a reason to check on folks. Check on folks. They're feeling pressure. They're feeling pressure to provide for their families. They're feeling pressure for the increased prices when it comes to even things that we need, like food. So check on folks. I think that everyone is under that vulnerable umbrella now. But in the district, we have, of course, we have our homeless population. We have our populations that are working against unemployment, and they're working with housing, and some of these things that were put into place to protect them during the pandemic are starting to expire. And so now it's a real opportunity for us to figure out, hey, what's next? What am I going to do? How do I get back into the workforce? How do I get back into school? What do I need to do? And so I think going into 2022, there's going to be a lot of growth, there's going to be a lot of change, and there's going to be a lot of things that we still have to solve for because some of those provisions are definitely going away.
Thank you for that answer and that reminder that we all have to check in on each other and
Absolutely.
really mean what we say when we say we care about our communities. It starts with
Absolutely.
the person who's right next door, because as you said, we are all vulnerable right now. We're
Right.
all in such a precarious state, and we don't know when our lives can be changed in an instant. So
Absolutely.
thank you. So I know that you are Amerigroup's proud director and representative, but can you tell us what sets Amerigroup apart from other organizations connecting district residents with health opportunities? And again, how can we tap into some of the programming that Amerigroup has to offer?
So right now, all of our programming is really community driven. So anyone can take advantage of all the things that are rolling out. So all of those great partners that I mentioned, you'll be seeing more come out from them, and that's open to everyone. So that's one disclaimer. And then I'd like to say, like for Amerigroup, our focus has always been on not just the dollars, not just funding and supporting, but also hands-on activity. We want to be in the community. We want to be with you. We want to figure out what's going on because just reading about it in the paper or hearing about it from our partners isn't going to make us the best partner for DC residents. And so that's what I think sets us apart. We do spend the dollars, we do invest in the communities that we service, but our investment is way more than just the funding. It's the actual people, the actual residents that we either staff, we employ, we service, we work with. All of those are our most valuable assets because those are the ones that keep us in the know. That we have listening sessions all the time. We have an open door policy for our members to come in and engage. We're constantly asking for feedback and thoughts on what's needed. What's needed? What can we do? How can we solve? How can we work together? And so I think that's what sets us apart. The hands-on involvement is what really drives us. It motivates our staff, it keeps us going, and so nobody at Amerigroup is above that. Whether it is the directors, the CEOs, the plan presidents, all the way down to the community relations reps and the case managers, we are all willing to go out in the community. We actually really enjoy it, going out into the community and doing some of that work.
Absolutely. And again, I'm just going to be a witness to the work that Charmekia and the Amerigroup folks are up to. She is not just rocking that blue shirt and smiling and looking pretty for us today. They really are doing a lot of great work in the community. You will see Amerigroup folks out at local events all around the district and showing their support, putting their money behind these organizations and really showing that they care about the district and the district's residents. Uh, and as Charmekia said, of course, it's our vulnerable residents, but we are really all in a vulnerable state. And so I just thank Amerigroup for all that you are doing and continuing to raise awareness and doing such hard work for the
Thank
people.
you so much for having us.
Thank you, Charmekia. Everybody, Charmekia is the Director of Strategic Engagement and Partnerships with Amerigroup DC. I know that they are keeping you busy, but how can we tap in and follow you all and ensure that we can support the work that you're doing?
So our Amerigroup page is just at Amerigroup. So you can follow us on there on social media. And then all of the things that we're doing, you're gonna hear about them soon. I think that following our partners, engaging with our partners is the best way to stay up to date on what's happening right here in DC because our partners, they are ready to do some great things and we are so excited about it. So some of our partners again, Pathways to Housing, Tumani DC, Martha's Table, Brick, I think all of these are great partners, us helping us. They all have such high accolades in the district. And again, we're so grateful to be able to work with them. And they're going to be doing some really great things. So I would stay tuned to some of that. We have a great men's program with Howard University. And so they're going to be tapping all of the fellas. They're going to be coming out into the community, coming where you are, where the guys hang out to talk about health disparities and get you guys into care and make sure things are up to date. And so get you into screening. So we're so excited.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the excitement behind the work, but also for doing the work and
Thank
for
you.
keeping us up to date. Again, you can go to www.amerigroup.com or follow all things Amerigroup at Amerigroup, which is pretty simple, y'all. So stay up to date and follow all that Amerigroup has to offer. Again, they're doing such great work, and we want to be a part of that good work. And we're all members of the community, so we're already a part of it in some way. But
Absolutely.
let's just be intentional and know what's happening and know how we can tap in and not only benefit from the work that's Amerigroup has been up to and busy doing, but also perhaps take part and try to support as well. So I thank you,
Thank you
Sharmi.
so much for having us.
Please, folks, y'all know what to do. Follow all things Afro at Afro News. And if you are not a subscriber, become one today by going to subs at afro.com. And again, we are still asking for submissions on Edgar Brookins. He was our DC general manager as well as circulation manager. Y'all know I can't talk about him much. I've done so already, and I get emotional. He was a dear mentor to me, and he passed last week. And so we want to continue to keep his memory alive. And one way is by the newspaper, right? Which he loved and cared
Absolutely.
about. And so, guys, please, please, please submit those memories to mgreen@afro.com or editor@afro.com. Pictures, little anecdotes, we'll take it all. We know that Edgar Brookins, aka Mr. DC, was really important to many, many people. And so we want to just make sure that we keep his memory alive. And let me just say, let me throw this in. He was a big supporter of Amerigroup DC.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Charmekia,
Thank
again for
you.
your time. Thank you, Amerigroup. We appreciate it. And take care to all of those who tuned in. We see you and appreciate it. Again, sharing is caring. So share the stream.
Thank you all.
Thank you.